Yeah. Yeah. Very, like 3 pages? Seriously? That's not a tenth of an inch. And when I look, the stupidest thing is, Rach, when I look at it on their preview, it's fine. It's all the bleed, like all of it's within the lines. It's just like being a beast. Hey, Kara, save you from what? Have you imploded? I'm sorry. Oh, but wait. I should have gotten yesterday. I should have gotten a box with things in it. And one of those things is the Kara vintage. I should have the Kara vintage in here. There it is. There it is. All right, everybody. There it is. We gonna check that out. You're working your job, your boss's job, and apparently, oh wow. So like you're really, really looking for another job? Is that what you're telling me? So that you can drop your existing jobs? Yes, I got the labeled ones. She labeled. She always I mean, Benita always labels stuff for me. She's very good about labeling. Actually, I'm relieved. She's a queen in my book. Where's my Thalo? Oh, Did I leave it out here? Yeah, no. Did I give it to David? I hope I didn't give it to David. Oh, no, I didn't. Phew, if it went to David, it would be, like, lost. David's desk is like Ron's desk. Oh, you're asking for them to pay you while they're making you overclock. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is the proper Burgundy wine, apparently. The proper Burgundy wine. Not the very blue one. Not the super red one. The proper one. The proper vintage. So, I have all the other Burgundy wines back on my desk. Yeah, and that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to... First of all, isn't it great? Isn't that job great? Like, I just gotta say, that was my job for years and years, was to spend hours testing colors. I love it. I still miss it. But anyway, yeah, Benita is awesome, isn't she? Yeah, she's fantastic. This one's kind of in between, because this is the newer, redder one, right? The one that was currently in production. This is Kara's, and then the one that I have, the old one, is even bluer than this. Yeah, of course you do, Kara. I mean, if you weren't local, then you wouldn't, but the fact that you're local makes it a no-brainer for me. I'm just like, get Kara's ass up there and have her figure out what she wants. You're not the first person I've done this to. I mean, back when I actually worked in the paint department, I regularly grabbed painters and hauled them in to, like, give me feedback on a color that they had requested. So, you are just the latest in the process, and I've subjected Benita to it instead of, me being there myself. So, yeah. So this is even darker. So you see how things have shifted here. The many faces of Burgundy wine, everybody. Right, you bought Burgundy wine because Kara told you to. Right, and that's why Kara had to help design the new one. Or is it Requiem Red? Yeah, it is. Oh, I had my Burgundy wine out somewhere. Oh, I must have stuffed it back in the box. With all the other Burgundy wines. All the other Burgundy wines are in the box. In the box. Hold on. Now I have to, like, search through my Burgundy wines for the one that I accidentally stuffed in there that I shouldn't have. And who in God's name knows where it is? Is this you, Burgundy wine? It is. Woohoo! What, Kiki? I can woohoo. I can woohoo, Bubba. Blah. Hi, Keekers. Yeah, that's very close. Yep. Yeah, it is. The bottle's deceptive, but we may not have an option about that. I mean, they've always been frosted. It's just like we can't, it's hard to control the degree that they're frosted. Mermaid scale is the teal metallic, isn't it? Or no, it isn't. It's new, yeah. Right, okay, brain. I just don't have a brain today. Something named wine. No drinking on the clock. Yeah, so now we have Kara's Vintage. So I can use it as the base for the armor for Dead Guy. Maybe we'll just do his little legs. Maybe we'll just do his little legs before we dive into the green. But yeah, old Burgundy wine. Old Burgundy wine. Yeah, it's all different. Yeah, exactly. It's a wine vintage. It's going to vary slightly with the year. Here, Roger. It was a holiday in Karanico Land, wasn't it, Kuro? Wasn't that why you were out? Alrighty. Let's see here. Alright, so yeah, we have a new Burgundy wine, which is gonna, we're gonna switch up the order then. So Requiem is gonna be probably our darkest red. Although, I don't know, this is more purpley. I almost think, at least in the bottle, it's more purpley. It's not in, actually. But that's because of all the blue in it. We'll probably put Requiem as the #1 color in the line, and this will be #2. I like to go dark to light. Alright, so... do a quick test. Where's my card? I don't know where my card is that I stuffed stuff on yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Burgundy wine is Burgundy wine, everybody. Yep, this is Burgundy wine. There we go. So y'all see the pretty color. I like Requiem's name. I've always liked Requiem's name since it was done, so I'm okay with Requiem being #1. All right, cool. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because of the purple slide that Burgundy wine has also, because of the blue pigment. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of this onto his leg plates, because his non-armor bits appear to be ghosty stuff, so... And I'll probably leave the area, because his actual legs appear to be ghosty stuff, I'll probably leave the area between the plates light instead of dark. However, putting the solid color here on the leg plates is going to mean that not as much light gets through. Kodiak, I have not had time. I've been struggling with a cover error and a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to like juggle so many balls right now, setting up promos. I have not had 2 seconds. I'm sorry. I have to get the cover thing resolved because I can't order my copy without it, and I'm just like kind of freaking out a little bit. So yeah, I have not had time to like actually like sink in on the email. So apologies, I will get there. I meant to do it last night too, and then I saw the error message and I was like, ah, my little head exploded. No, no, that's fine. Don't be self-conscious. I know telling people not to be self-conscious just gets them to be more self-conscious, but you know. So yeah, I'm just going to block in the plates here so I have it while I'm working on Horsey. So we're using complementary colors. I may shade the burgundy wine with a bit of purple in order to slide it more that way. Eventually. There's kind of an edge around this, a little trim on this knee plate. So I want to keep that going on. All right. Yes, yes. Yeah, Benita's very good. I'm very happy with Benita as my legacy inheritor. She's like detail oriented and she gives a crap. And the fact that she also is painting like means that she can actually like feel the difference in the paint and understand what we're trying to do with 2.0, which I love. Like, you really need a painter in that position. You need somebody who's willing to actually do the thing, in my opinion. And she's very good at paying attention to the little things, so. Honestly, it was you showing up that reminded me that I got the burgundy wine, the Kara's vintage. So, yes, you actually made it a good day as far as burgundy wine goes. So yeah, so I want it dark, I want contrast, I want the ghosty horse to look very ghosty. So I think this will work fine. I'll add in a few more plates here and then we'll go back to Horsey. I think that's swirly ghosty stuff, so I think I'm going to go down here. But yeah, Benita's great. Oops, sorry, I need to fix my camera. You're the paint influencer. It's cool. I don't have the chops to be a true influencer. It takes a particular personality type that I just do not have. But yeah, I want to get this blocked in so I can see the solid plates, how they're going to affect everything else. I influence you to buy minis. Horsey's Ghost Everywhere, correct. And Ghosty Guy is ghosty except for his armor. Alright, well, we'll sit on that, and then we'll go back to Horsey. We'll do the gold edging too. He really has no ghosty stuff showing up on his top piece, except for like right through here. So, and his head will be ghostified. But otherwise, he's pretty solid on his top part. So when he gets in place, figure out how he fits in. There. All right, there he goes. His little arm. His little arm pegs into his little hand. Right. Yeah, and actually it pegs in really nice. So yeah, so we'll have a lot of armor on this side for him. But it's a cool model. It's really cool. Let's continue our horsey ghosties. I mean, I like painting with, you know, solid paint and all, but we do that all the time. I'll keep my burgundy wine wet, however, so that we can continue blocking in some here and there. And I'll mix up my greens, which I'm using the new elemental green, which is essentially phthalo green. And I'm adding a little bit of elemental yellow to it, which is our green face yellow, to create that darker green. And my phthalo is cloggy because it wants to. Man, just a day. It's just a day, folks. And I haven't even checked the CrossFit workout to see how nasty it is. I don't know if I have the energy to CrossFit tonight. Let's see how nasty it is. How nasty is it? These 5-round workouts are really, like, annoying lately. But I like this workout's okay. I can do that. It'll be annoying, but it'll be doable. And I like kettlebell swings, I cannot lie. Oh, except it looks like one-legged, one-armed. Oh, that's all right. I can do that. Hello, Slayer. That's funny. That's very funny, Kara. Oh, you got one from the used store. Very cool. Very cool, Kuro. Yeah, I like this model a lot. All right. So, phthalo green, which is itself a beautiful emeraldy green. And then we take a little tiny bit of elemental yellow, or clear yellow as the case may be. Let me mix that up. Hey there, Crowley. To get a warmer green. Even though phthalo is a blue, appears to be a blue shade green, when you add the green shade yellow, it brightens right up. You really, normally adding you want to add a warm to a warm and a cool to a cool, but phthalo green just really, the difference isn't that big. There are technically two phthalo greens. There's a yellow shade and a blue shade. And we do use the blue shade, but there isn't much to choose between them. There are some warm, cool pigments that when you're mixing, they really just don't have that high of an impact. Reds are different. Reds, the warm, cool makes the most difference because the cool is magenta, which is a very different pigment from naphthol. But the yellows make the next most difference because elemental versus lantern is a very different yellow. So in mixing, if you're going warm, you want the warm yellow, and cool, i.e. green, you want the green yellow. But the blues and the greens really are they have such tiny differences that it doesn't really matter. All right, so now that I've got that, I want to get my next highest. I want to mix up all my colors from my card. To do that, we'll be adding more elemental yellow, and we'll also be working with some dungeon slime. Everybody's favorite dungeon slime. Girl. I'll just tell Ron that you have to, that he has to put out deep red as a special limited color at some point. A little bit darker. There we go. That's good. These are really intense colors. They're really vibrant. Dungeon Slime's going to change that a little bit because it's got white in it. So as I add a little bit of this over to this and grab my dungeon slime. We'll end up with a much lighter color. Yeah, it's just really high saturation. Seriously, that's what you get when you mix pure pigments and you don't mute them. So I need a little bit more yellow to equal my last color. Yes, I have not, like, gone to dig out my moth green. Yes, Quindy's accusation is true. I hate to say it. But unlike... unlike some people, I will admit my wrongdoing. That's pretty good. A little bit more. There we are. Just trying to get as close as I can to the colors I had mixed up last time. And it will go up to Dungeon Slime and white. Quindy, sadly, is not local. Otherwise, she would absolutely be encouraged to go and design the new moth green. Although, if she believes it is already perfect, then, you know, doesn't really need much. Yeah, I just had to make decisions, Kuro. I had to make decisions based on, like, which red I was going to keep that was really close. There were so many... We made so many really nice dark reds, but there's only room for a certain number. There we go. Alright. So now we've got these guys. Yes, Quindy has a point, everybody. I mean, technically Dungeon Slime is also a spooky green. It's just hiding behind a Dungeons and Dragons monster moniker to entice people to buy it. Because otherwise, I don't know, if I called it spooky green, like, it would get some sales, but I think slimes have the heart of the RPG populace. Thus the prevalence of cute slimes in fantasy fiction lately, especially lit RPG, and in, for that matter, World of Warcraft. Like, cute slimes are a thing. Alrighty. So again, we're going to be keeping some of the area just white. They do. Phantom glow. I just wanted to go green with this because I just painted a ghosty thing glowy in a bluish color. And green gets to be a spooky color for Halloween because it's in the secondary triad. Orange, purple, and green are the colors. Thus, greens are spookier than blues. Halloween rules. I think it's just secondary triad, Gurnico. And for that matter, old Disney film might also have been influenced by secondary triad. But I really think that it's just because green, orange, purple is a secondary triad. All those colors work together well. You've already got orange and green for pumpkins, and you've got, purple for your stand-in for black for cartoony stuff. So at that point, you don't make your ghosts orange. Some ghosts I've seen are indeed a purple-white. So you can have spooky purples too. But I think that's why the green ectoplasm became a thing. I just think it's culturally become a thing because of marketing, and they chose it because of the secondary color palette triad. That's my guess. Plus, glow in the dark paints are green. They shift to a greenish glow. So there's that as well. It's a couple different possibilities. Yeah. Going a little darker with my green under the legs there. Keeping my paint really thin so that I can still let light filter through the translucent plastic of this mini. Yeah, I kind of half watched one of the Beetlejuice sequel on the plane, and I was not impressed. Like one of my flights not long ago. I think it was Rupicon, actually. Rupicon or the one before it. It's all Shakespeare, huh? Interesting. Bioluminescence, yeah, which is like glow in the dark, right? Yeah, interesting. No, in other words, nobody knows, but it's a thing. I'm just trying to block in some undersides down here with a little bit of darker green. Witcher 3, you mean the third season of it? I was going to say, Witcher 3, the video game, was really good, as I recall. Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'd have to double check. I'm sure there's tons of reasons. Oh well, spooky green anyway. I haven't painted a spooky green ghost on stream at all. I tend to like the teal color better for phantoms. But I wanted to do... The horsey just seemed to be green. I mean, his concept art is green. He was speaking to me in a green sort of way. Yeah, Witcher 3, the video game's amazing. Oh, the Netflix series became a disgrace after Henry left. That's a shame. Oh, I see. It was a disgrace while he was still there. Yeah. He only made it tolerable. Thank you. A musical number? Oh no. Oh no. Man, it's just horrible. It's just awful, folks. I mean, I love musicals, but no. Just sounds like the producers just don't get the IP. It's a shame when that happens. It's the peril of being an author whose stuff gets licensed. You get money, but there's always the chance that it turns out awful. And then you cry, like Stephen King did for years. It probably still does over many of his IPs. Oh wow. Wow, Quindy. Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Won't be the first awesome IP ruined by a bunch of media moguls. Luckily, we still have the books and the games. So I'm mostly working shadows toward the undersides of things because I want to keep enough light coming in through the top. Yeah, I know it's so it's an MBA, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Running Man. Well, at this point, I think Stephen King has, enough money that he doesn't have to say yes to greenlighting every, project that gets offered his way. And he can go for the ones that sound like they're actually not going to suck. Oh, I see a little support that I forgot to take off. These days, the college degree is just not as useful, it seems. Where's my knife? There's my knife. Just gonna get this little support out of here. Oh, hey, on a totally different note, guys. I got myself a little understanding desk treadmill. One where you can just set it under your standing desk and just walk while you do stuff with your standing desk. It's been a long time. Like, I had a treadmill that I absolutely loved. It was my go-to thing in Texas for many, many years. And I've missed it. I've missed having it. Because, when the weather's crappy and you just don't want to go for your walk outside, it's just so nice to have the treadmill option in your house. I used it tons. But I wanted to be able to get, still get all my 10,000 plus steps a day while the weather was getting, worse here. So I actually got myself a little. There was one on sale that I saw, and so I nabbed it. I'm excited to get it set up. Then I can walk while I edit my fiction. Or edit my videos, which I have to do today. Because sometimes I don't get my 10,000 steps on days when I have CrossFit, and that annoys me. So I'm working in some lighter, I put in my darker green, and then I use the lighter greens to kind of blend it up. And I'm mostly using these two colors, a little bit of that, a tiny bit of this. Usually not even really reaching for the phthalo, usually reaching for that, but the phthalo has a place like in the really dark shadows. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, it is nice when it's miserable. Oh yeah, Slayer? Yeah, the top speed of mine, I mean, it's meant to just be a walking treadmill, right? But the top speed of mine is 4 miles per hour. And technically, that is a running pace, a jogging pace for me, so. But I'm mostly not looking to use it for jogging. Mostly just looking to use it for walking, for getting my steps. Since that's been the biggest thing to move the needle on my weight loss, is just getting the steps. Running actually makes it harder for me to lose weight, because it means I'm hungry more. I'm hungry more, and I don't have a good idea of how much I can eat when I run yet. So it's kind of fraught. Yeah, for sure, Butts. Yeah, I'm not too worried about falling on it. I used to read in treadmill all the time, and so I'm kind of used to having a book or something in front of me on my treadmill while I treadmill. So this one seems long enough that it should be fine. There was a point where I could walk on the treadmill, and I had rigged my my computer so that I could play World of Warcraft and walk at the same time. That was back in the early days of Reaper when I was totally addicted to WoW. Yeah. Yeah, I mean you just kind of go on autopilot, Slayer. It is it's pretty easy not to get caught up in it. Because once the fact that the speed is always static, once you set it, you forget it, means that I've never had a problem with going marginally slower and falling off the back. Just doesn't happen. Yeah. Well, this, like I said, it'll let me edit my books. It'll let me watch my YouTube. It'll let me, read books. I'll just set it up and get my standing desk set up and go, which is nice. I like it. Maybe I could get up to 15,000 steps a day. That would be a little excessive, I think. But yeah, I'll probably set it up this weekend. It takes us a tiny amount of setup. Yeah, interesting, Kara. Yeah, I have a standing desk. I got one when we moved into the house, Marich. I really wanted to not spend so much time sitting. between the writing and the Patreon stuff. So the standing desk allows me to, not be constantly sitting. Plus, I mean, when I worked for Reaper, when I was in the paint department, I was standing like all day at work. But yeah, my standing desk is behind me. It's up against the opposite wall. It's my writing area. This is my painting area, and that's my writing area. It'll take a little getting used to, I think, because I haven't done, stuff while I was treadmilling for a while, so I'll have to get readapted to it, reaccustomed to it, but I'm excited. That treadmill saved my life so much when I was recovering from surgeries and stuff, like just being able to move when it was crappy weather outside and I really couldn't be I couldn't sit because of the surgery site. I needed to be doing something, so it just saved my sanity so many times having a treadmill. I was not one of those people who got a treadmill and then never used it. I was one of the people who got a treadmill and used it every day. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got, Crowley, is a walking pad. It's flat and small and easy to just turn up on its side and store. And I got a deal on it. So it was only $150. And yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, my treadmill stayed in my old house. I couldn't take it with me after the divorce. I didn't have any room for it. I wouldn't have had any room to bring it out to California with me. And it was old. It was a $100 Walmart treadmill. And it served me for years as my sanity saver. So I have fond memories of it. And I've subconsciously kind of been wishing I'd have a treadmill out here. So now I do. Makes me happy. Yeah, Twisted Oma. I mean, these little ones, you don't even need a big one. This is just a pad. It's like a walking pad, and it's between 2 and 3 feet long, I think. And maybe it's 3 feet long. I don't remember, but it's not very intrusive in space. And it was on sale. It was $150, so I think it's normally $225. But they aren't very expensive, and they are a great way to get some motion into your life if you're limited or by either environment or medical stuff. I mean, it lets you stop walking if you don't feel good. Yeah, it lets you stop walking and you're at home. So, it's not like you don't feel good when you're out on a walk or you have a problem and then you're not at home. So yeah, I'd think it's a very good solution. If you have medical issues and you want to get more active, you want to, help yourself that way. But this one, it just slides right under the standing desk, and I think I'll measure it once I have it out of the box. You store yours under your couch in the office. Nice. Yeah, that's really cool, John. I didn't know you had one. That's good. Wasn't enough room. Yeah, I know. We don't have enough room for a big one. That's why I was kind of oh, well, I'll just deal, because most of the time the weather here is decent enough to walk, but we do get very rainy in the winter. You could buy another 6-foot tall goose. Yeah, right. The walking pad is the best. Yeah, so you want to look for a walking pad, Twisted Oma. You just hit the button to stop it, or you just always have it go really slow, Twisted Oma. Geese doesn't sound silly enough. But yeah, I mean, the treadmill just, especially for you because you're like, you're building up fitness from, a pretty low level at this point. Like, you would just put it on really slow, and you're not going to fall off the end at that point. You're just going to step off of it, or you're going to hit the button and stop it. It's got a remote. It's got a remote that you just can click it to control it. So. The walker might be too wide, but that's like why you put it like kind of on a standing desk setup so that you can have something to put your hands up on if you need to balance. Yeah, mine, I think, I don't remember. Mine only handles up to 300 pounds, I think. It's, hold on, let me find it. Mine also does not do inclines or anything like that. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah. It's a treadmill with remote control. It's just a little guy like that. Its dimensions are... Yeah, it's still on sale, so... Looking for its dimensions. Oh, okay. So it's 42 inches, 20 inches wide, and 4 inches tall. 38 pounds weight. They do have an optional handrail that you can buy for it. Or you can just buy, a cheaper one from someone else. Yeah, probably they're all the same kind of thing, right, Butts? I don't remember how many. I was just looking at the weight tolerance. Yeah, it goes up to 3.8 miles per hour, so it's just for walking. Yeah, its weight capacity is 300 pounds. This one is Deer Run, but I'm sure there are other brands. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that make these. This one was well reviewed, so I decided to give it a go. Plus, at only $150, it wasn't like a huge risk, but I figured it would work. Just darkening in my underside there. 330. Oh, nice. Yeah. 330 for 98. No, but your phone will do that, Twisted Oma. Your phone can track your steps if you keep it on you while you're walking. Assuming you have like a smartphone, which I can't assume, I guess. Or you could just get a very simple step tracker device. Like if you have a Fitbit or something like that, it will automatically track your steps too. So, but if you don't have an actual device, like if you just keep your phone on you, the phone is okay at it. Yeah, I will, Twisted Oma. We'll see if I like it. I'm excited to have some time to set it up, but I've got so many balls in the air this week that I need to resolve. So darkening down inside of the ribcage there, because it doesn't matter if the bottom is dark. But yeah, I just like to have options. Like it does get pretty hot out here, and it would be nice to have a walking option for indoors. Because I like, in the evening it's fine, so my evening walk's always fine, but like sometimes I try to get in, I was trying to get my 10,000 steps, I was trying to get in a midday walk, and when it's hot out, that's a little bit annoying here. Even in Texas, like I wouldn't get in a midday walk in the heat. I would wait till the evening. But I don't want to have to do a super long walk in the evening, so I like to kind of spread out my steps. And I like to do it after I eat, right? Because that has an impact on blood sugar and helps you lose weight. So, hey there, Russian. How's it going? Your old Pokemon pedometer. Yeah. Yeah, you can do whatever. Like, there's a lot of little devices that'll let you track your steps. So pretty much just a block into my shadow, and then I take my slightly lighter green and paint a little bit over that to blend it in. Still want to leave a lot of white up near the top. Dark by 5 p.m. It's been, raining. Yeah, and that's how it's going to get for me soon. Because the winter, I remember doing my walks very stubbornly last winter in the rain. It was just not enjoyable when it was really cold, though. So now I have an option. And I have an option for... It's better, like, for me, I'm like trying to fit in so many steps a day, and I've also got so much to do that it just felt bad to, like, put another half an hour walk in the middle of my day when I really needed to be working and had the energy to work. But this will let me do both, right? So this, I can click on the treadmill. I can just do my work while I'm doing it on the treadmill. So I love that. Because I get my outside walk in the morning and in the evening. So I get out to enjoy nature those times of the day. But yeah, hopefully... Right. Yeah, Shotten, for sure. I like when it's warm rain, but when it's like cold rain and it's dark and it's late, I would much rather be doing my steps indoors at that point, I think. And usually it's fine here. Like I said, I live in a very mild climate now. I really can't complain after living in Wisconsin and Texas before. This is the best climate I've lived in by far. But, it's still nice to have, like I said, I like options. Got a little dark here on the bottom, but again, it doesn't matter so much because we're not blocking light. Yeah, I mean, it's, it can also, like, if you can do it while you're working, the nice thing is that you don't get that food coma after lunch, right? You can just get the treadmill going and start walking, and you don't like get kind of that sleepy post-lunch feeling that you get sometimes, that I get sometimes. All right, we're going to get a lot of green in on this side. I think they looks good now. So let's go up and do the mane. I actually should do the hoof, I guess. Yeah, Wisconsin does, and Texas does, Kuro. And actually, we got a warm rain last month here in California. We almost never do because our rain is very much winter. But we got a day of warm rain where it was like 70 degrees or 68 degrees, and it was raining. It was gorgeous, and I went out and got soaked, and I was pretty happy about it. Because I like to walk in the rain when it's warmer. When it's really freezing, I'm just not into it. Should I make his hooves green, guys? Like a darker green? I kind of feel like I should. I kind of feel like I could go dark with these hooves. The hooves don't have to be translucent. The 2 o'clock most tired you've ever been in your life, yeah. It would behoove me to make them green, yes. I'll go over them with the even darker green in a moment. It'll make his feet feel a little more corporeal. When you go darker with ghosts, it tends to make them feel more corporeal. We'll make those a little darker. Yeah, you guys are in your fall for sure down there in Texas. Here the trees are just turning, and we won't see like our trees like really. We won't see fall colors till December. Like fall colors like I'm used to from Wisconsin or Texas. Although too many times fall in Texas was more like 80 degrees one day and then 45 degrees the next day, and the trees would all get like cold shock, and the leaves would just be brown and fall off because it was too much of a temperature shift and they couldn't handle it. Yeah, I know, right, Quindy? It's like it does. It's hard to do CrossFit now because it's always dark. Yeah, when yeah. Like, there's no excuse for poor cropping and pasting these days, in my opinion. Like, when I see poor cropping and pasting, it's like, did you just really not care? Bring in my darker green. Oh no. Sorry, Kuro. The cats are done, huh? They're like, enough fireworks. We're done with this crap. Yeah, Karen takes spoons. It's true. To be fair, like, when I read Lit RPG on Royal Road, a lot of them use AI made covers. I don't really care, as long as the book is fun. They just don't have any money, and I get it. I'm still paying for a cover artist for mine, though. Yeah, poor sizing. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Just trying to get this to blend decently here. Oh, and this needs more water. I didn't make a lot of any of these green colors, so I kind of have to keep thinning them down. Yep. Yeah, my cover artist is great. Actually, we're working on a new cover for Queenmaker. Hold on, let me see. Let me get this bigger. So we're trying to do more for Royal Road Kodiak, so main character front and center. Although technically we're going to swap this around because it needs to be Queenmaker and then Book 1 Inheritance and stuff like that, but that's just a start. Yeah. It needs to be higher contrast in the back, but I think that's close to what we're going to be going for, so. Yeah, my cover artist is so nice. She's so nice. I like her so much. But yeah, so we're going to work with that, and we're going to mess around with it a bit more. But that's the start. That's kind of the prototype that we're using. It needs to look more magical. There needs to be higher contrast for Royal Road, but yeah. So Queenmaker now has two covers, the one that I'll be using for the serialized version that I try out on Royal Road, and the one that we'll be using for Kindle, which you guys have seen, which is the very highly stylized cover, which is very on genre for Kindle, but not so much for Royal Road. So it's a different market, and we'll see how it works. Yeah, her work's really good. She's got a vibe and she gets my books. Like, she gets the vibe of my books. She understands where I'm going, and she likes that kind of fiction. So I'm just going to use my darker green, just like we did lower down, to start picking out these strands here. But I'm using it pretty thin. Yeah, she's very versatile. It depends. She has a set of pre-made covers. It's really funny because the one that I actually just showed you, after I got her to make the covers for Queenmaker the first time, she loved the idea, the concept of the book so much that she took some of the ideas that she didn't use for me, and she made them into pre-made covers. And so this is actually one of her pre-made covers based on my book that she had done because she loved the concept. And so it's kind of funny. So you can do a pre-made cover from her, I think, for only like $250 or $300. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked at her pricing lately. Normally for my full covers for Bear Kings, it's $450. I get a small discount because I'm doing a series. Yeah. Hold on. I'll show you guys her website. She's awesome. I was just on there looking at her pre-made covers the other day and saw those, and I was like, you totally took the Queenmaker idea and ran with it. And she's like, yeah, I loved it. So hold on. She does a lot of different stuff, but this is her. So Raven with two V's, and that's her website. And she also writes in games and has spots for those, but if you go to book cover art, she has, let's see what her rates have. She has a click here. Click here for rates. Yeah, 400. She's not a like, she essentially uses photo stock and like just is very good at digital painting. So it's not as expensive as getting like if you try to pay a traditional artist, by the way, to do your book covers, you're going to be paying about $2,000. She's been around for years. Yes, she has. Yeah, she used to do a lot of romance, and she stopped doing romance covers like a while ago and switched to only like doing fantasy and some other stuff. I think she'll still do like fantasy romance, but she won't do straight romance anymore. But yeah, she's just very, her digital painting's always top notch. She has a real understanding of genre, which is so important in a designer. People underestimate that. And she understands like the atmosphere and the mood, and she's got a great ability with like fonts, and yeah, she's great. But yeah, she does great work, and she's wonderful to work with. Like, she's great. She always reminds me when we have a cover slot coming up. She, asks for ideas for like to start brainstorming. We work with it. She's really good at like changing stuff. She if I don't have an idea or don't need it, like she's always good at rescheduling if she wants, if I need her to. And when you spend that money, you get the Kindle cover, and also you get like some stuff to use for like ads, like Facebook ads and stuff like that. You also get the paperback cover. I think it's $4.50 if you want the paperback cover included. She's done a kind of a modified rate there, but still, considering how much you could pay for a cover artist, I think she's in the perfect sweet spot. Like I can budget for that, right? It's worth it to me to have really nice covers. Like the cover is what gets people to click on your book and give it a chance. So it's like the most important thing. Followed by blurb. All right, so we're just kind of outlining here. We'll go back into main. Yeah, I thought the Crow Tarot cover was outstanding as well. Yeah. She does do a little bit of drawing, I think, but she usually is more, for her work, she does more of the stock stuff. Working with different photo stock. She's really good at like combining different photo stock and making it all blend together and making it look like a cohesive piece of art. It's lovely. So yeah. I thought about working with a different artist for my Royal Road covers, and I just decided no. I just like her too much. And it means my covers will be slightly different than other people's on Royal Road, but we'll see. I don't have everything like riding on Royal Road. Like if I can't make it work, then we're just going to publish on Amazon like we always do, so I just wanted to see if it was a way to build an audience that, I haven't tried. Yeah, Thunder shirts, yeah. Oh, yeah, if the windows are shaking, that's just scary. Yeah, I know. Her horror covers are really good. She just does beautiful work. Like, it's just hard stop. It's just so good. I'm very glad I found her. I found her through Joanna Penn, who had her listed as a cover artist that she endorsed on her website, The Creative Pen. And Joanna's all over the indie author community. She does a lot of books writes nonfiction for how to become and how to publish your book and how to do all that stuff. I listened to a lot of her audiobooks when I was learning how to do this self-publishing thing. Yeah. She does, she's usually booked a fair period in the future. So just keep that in mind, like be ready for a 6-month wait, probably. Book your cover before you actually need your cover. That's why I always have one slot waiting. Like whenever we do a cover, I'm just like, what's the tail end of your current queue? And then just put me in. So kind of making a darker stripe there. Going to keep this a little lighter. Just varying it up to make the different areas of the mane look a little different. But yeah, I endorse her. She's great. Finding a good cover artist that's a good communicator that also understands the biz is can be a challenge sometimes. But yeah, when I first started looking for a cover artist, I didn't know that cover artists are a specific breed, and I talked to a couple of traditional artists and then got those rates, and I was just like, no way. And then I started looking harder at, reading and listening to books by people who, talked about how to indie author, and that led me to lists of cover artists who are not quite so expensive. Cover artists have definitely been hit pretty hard by the AI boom. Although, also, honestly, a lot of people who use AI covers wouldn't have ever paid for a real artist anyway. Like they weren't looking to pay for art. Not all, but... Hey, Richard. Yeah, I know. I sent you a book and you just, disapparated. How's it going? We're ghosty horsing today. Ghosty horsing and talking about treadmills and digital art. Because I just got a walking pad for under my standing desk so that I can walk and work at the same time. Oh, you finished the book. Yeah, that'd be great. No big hurry because Amazon is throwing a temper tantrum about my my cover file, and I'm having to get it redone by the artist. Because apparently it was 3 pages different than I thought it was, and that was enough to make Amazon Kindle freak out and refuse to approve my book. So I haven't been able to order my author copy even yet, so it's very annoying. But yes, I appreciate any notes that you send, and I will get to them as soon as I have bandwidth. I've been trying to set up all my promos and everything too. It's been a lot lately. But I just want to get to the point where when release hits, there's just a button to press and I'm done. I actually did put the book out on pre-order on Kindle. Just because I find that if I actually put it out for pre-order, I don't have to worry about hitting the button, and I don't have to worry about Amazon waiting for forever before they approve it. It'll just go live on that day. So I still prefer people to buy it or pre-order it, to buy. I prefer people to wait until the 21st to buy it. But if you look at it, you will see it on Amazon on Kindle form. Not yet in paperback. You just can't get it till the 21st. So you can see the big difference. Glowy horse is glowy. Yeah, still no paint Kickstarter, but they're working really hard on Dungeon Dwellers. Gonna get some of these deep areas in a darker green. Oh, more supports I forgot to get. I got most of them off, but apparently it's these little guys escaped my attention. Okay, cool. cool, Richard. Yeah, I mean, other people reading it were saying that it was a pretty clean manuscript, so that makes me happy. But yeah, anything that was confusing at all, I'm very interested in knowing, so I can make sure I clarify. Usually, those kind of notes are so easy to address too. It's like, I wasn't sure what happened here, and it's like, oh, I can just make that more clear in like the previous section. Usually, it only takes adding a sentence. Oh no. Oh no. Spring 2026. Oh no. Somebody tell Ron. Somebody tell Ron to update it. Oh no. That's just sad. Yeah, if they're loud enough to rattle your windows, that's just too close. Like, isn't that technically disturbing the peace? I guess maybe. Maybe that's not a thing. Kara. I just hate it when Reaper like publicly contradicts itself like that. It just makes me wince. Even though I'm not, directly involved so much anymore. I'm still just like, yeah, cringe. It's cringe. That's what it is. It's cringe. I cringe. Hey, Danny, how's it going? We're going ghosty horse today. Going ghosty. Now, behind the ear, I probably want to darken down the green so that the ear shows up. So I may use a little bit of a darker green back behind the ear. All right, so now lighter green up on the sides of these. Little curly cues. They're so cute. They're so cute. And I still want to leave some spots of white. That's funny, Sean Yeager. Kiki, that's enough, please. There, our next door neighbors are getting their house repainted, so there are sus people who are obviously axe murderers with their heads sticking up above our fence. And Kiki has to let me know all of them. Yes, trying to herd 15 cats on cocaine when you really need 45 dogs. Yes. It's true. Kiki, enough, or you're coming in here. Keeks, come here. Leave it alone. Yeah, leave it alone. I want you to leave it alone. I do. I know I love you too. I love you too, Floofy Tail, but you gotta be a good girl, okay? Settle down. All right. It's leaving the top very, very white. Oh, nice. Fantastic. Glad Nova passed all her tests. Hold on. All right, leave it and get over here now. And stop. Settle. Yep, now you can't go and bark at the guy. You have to settle down. She's like, I'm disgruntled. So disgruntled. Yeah, you can't see him, so now you have to stop barking. She's like, I don't like this rule. I don't like this rule, Mom. Hey, Bubba. She's sitting right next to me. She's like looking at me like, Mom, let me out. Why did you cut me in? I put you in so that you can't go out there and bark. Yeah, Fiend. Do you want to come up and say hi? Come here, Fiend. The Fiend wants to come up and say hi, everybody. The Geek Fiend. Yeah, Barker. Oh, did you bark because it's actually 11? Time check for me. Time check for me, little bubs. I just have a couple more minutes. Yeah, a couple more minutes and then we could go for a walk. Yeah, then we could go for a walk. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good girl. All right, you can get down. Good girl. You're fine. Yeah, the floof is here. Yeah, I'm sure they're sus. I'm sure the neighbor's workers are sus, but dang it, Kiki. Dang it. All right, we'll just do a tiny bit more then. And just a little bit up here on top of the head. Yeah, I'm sure the corgis would agree. Corgis seem like the types to agree about the susness. They're just like, obviously sus, obviously sus. I just imagine them spinning in little circles with their corgi butts. Yelling, obviously sauce, at the top of their little doggy mouths. Voices. Kodiak has a floofy girl too. Well, if and when you have puppies, or Nova has puppies, Kodiak, you have to share pictures on the Discord. It was clear I did prime it, but I primed really lightweight, and I liked the glowy look that it still had after I primed it, because the primer was light enough to let light through it, so... Yeah, and the floof does get everywhere. Yeah, so the horse has been primed, but if you look, it doesn't give us a hard shadow down here. There's still a little light passing through. Although now that I have added in this darker green, we're seeing more of a shadow here than we are like down here. So you can see the dark gray shadow here, as opposed to like much softer in here, and that's the light coming through the primer. But because I put that darker green in here, the light can't pass through there anymore. So that's the downside of painting translucent plastic. So that if you put on a lot of paint, you lose it. You lose the translucency. Just put a little bit more on here and then we can stop the stream, carry on with our lives. See you guys again tomorrow. Can't believe that it's already almost Friday. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of painting transparent figures. I would much rather have them be semi-opaque, so that's why I primed Horsey Dune. Alrighty, folks. Horsey is Horsey, and we got very, very ghosty. We're very ghosty now. Looking good, though. I'm liking this. I'm glad that I decided to go this way with it. Yeah, next year at the earliest for puppies. Yeah. Yeah, don't be in a rush. I didn't breed Kiri until she was like 3.5. I like breeding girls when they're a little more mature. So, yeah, I totally approve of and your decision to not be in a hurry. It's good. It's good. Yep, snazzy. So tomorrow we are back to working on the basing for Wolfie. So we'll finish basing him tomorrow. We'll paint the base and use basing materials. We've got our green work done, so we just need to get him painted, and then he will finally, after years, Wolfie will have a base. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, cool. You like to be able to see all the detail. Yeah, I don't know. I've painted a couple of transparent plastic figures. They're just not for me. But yeah, totally. I mean, I did a water weird and he turned out really cool. So there's definitely a time and place for it. And I totally respect it for, like, especially if you're doing gaming models. Like, it's a way to get a cool effect really fast. So yeah, so basing tomorrow, guys. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're still stuck in spooky month, even though it's not spooky month. We're still very stuck on the spooky figures for the most part, but that's okay. That's where we're at. That's where our heart's at. I mean, Quindy's the mod. What can I say, really? Thanks, everybody. Thank you for modding Quindy and Kuro, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.